Hello, and welcome to Women in Business, where we interview entrepreneurs and senior managers and show you the strengths, successes, obstacles, and roadblocks women experience in business. Since I believe every person in business needs to be visible, I'd like to invite you to watch www.sob6, that's the number 6, tips.com, which will give you some valuable information should you get the call to be on radio or TV, which I think is extremely important. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at Gayle Carson, that's Gayle, Gayle Carson 13 at gmail.com, or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter. My guest today is Sandi Glandt. She's a high-performance productivity coach for successful moms and female entrepreneurs with a passion for women empowerment. She helps overwhelmed, stressed out boss babes maximize their time, energy, and productivity to be present and reach their full potential in every aspect of their lives. She prides herself on her ability to help women like herself go from overwhelmed and burnout to balance and fulfillment. Through her extensive digital courses, group and one-on-one coaching, she helps her clients achieve maximum results. Passionate about productivity, organization, and confidence, her clients rave about how her strategies help them turn their stressed out, busy lives into balanced and massively productive ones. And she's married to her husband, Jared. They have one son, Jacob, and another son on the way. Oh boy, Sandi, you're in for it.
Yeah, you know what? I actually have a 7-month-old, so the baby is here.
Oh, the baby is there. Well, okay. So when they are not working, they're spending their free time at the beach and water park and attending quality time together in their backyard. Well, Sandi, you have a lot going on in your life right now, especially with the pandemic. So,
oh yeah.
Let's talk about some of the biggest mistakes you've made along the way, balancing work-life balance, and how did you rectify them?
Yeah, so I think especially early on, we try and do it all. We try and, especially as moms and wives and women in business, we don't want to, pass anything off to anyone else, or, we think we can do it better than anyone. So we just try and do all the things, So early on, it's easy to say, well, I'll tackle this and I'll handle this and I'll do the carpool and I'll do the work. And you really just end up overcommitting to all the things. And instead of really focusing on what is important to you and what fulfills you and is going to give you more energy versus drain your energy, we focus on everything. And the biggest thing that I can say is, the sooner that you can focus on the things that only you can do and that you're good at and that obviously you enjoy, being with your family, being with your kids, your husband, taking care of yourself, those things that are important. Everything else, you can either completely take off your plate and you can delete it, or you can delegate those things. And it's so important if you do want to show up in each one of those areas, and you have to identify what's important to you. But in order to do that, we have to identify that in the first place.
Yeah, I just did a whole show on how to have work-life balance and how to live your life. So very apropos.
Yeah, so know it.
Oh yeah, because it changes all the time. Just
absolutely.
Like it changed when you had this new baby. I mean, you've had a child, but having a baby, that throws another monkey wrench in, and you've got to worry about, sleeping times and feeding times and
oh yeah,
all the things.
So, I know it all too well.
So how do you define success in your daily life?
Yeah. So, and at first I have to say that success to me is different than what it's going to mean to you, to the woman that's listening, to each individual person. And for me, it means I get to be present in each area of my life. It means I get to show up, work with my clients, and get to be fulfilled in my work life. It means I get to be fulfilled as a wife and, having date nights with my husband and making sure that there's quality time there. It means being a present mom. I'm not the mom that's like going to be on my phone, sending off emails, trying to cook dinner and wrangle the kids and all the things. I try and put a lot of attention on being present in where I'm at. So I'm here and I'm talking to you. I'm not trying to, again, feed the kids and, do all the things. So to me, being able to really be present in where I'm at allows me to be fulfilled and to show up where I want to show up and 100% and commit fully to the thing that I'm in. Because if you try and, multitask and juggle all the things at once, you just end up getting overwhelmed. So, for me, being fulfilled means that I identify those areas, which is taking care of myself, my family, my business, and then making sure that each day has those components in it.
So, you're not like the woman that they advertised years ago. You can fry up the bacon and
you can do all that, just not at the same time.
Exactly. So who shaped you along the way, Sandi? I mean, who made you the person you are today? Is it a mentor? Is it your mom? Is it your dad? Who helped you along the way?
Yeah, so there's a couple layers to that answer. And, the first layer I want to say is my grandmother. I actually dedicate the book to her. She's 90 years old. She raised 4 boys. My dad's the oldest of 4 boys. She was a teacher, a devoted wife. She was getting her master's degree while she was in college and wearing all those hats, So I saw from her what it was like to be fulfilled. And it's funny because, if you think back to when she was raising my dad and her boys, let's say in the 50s, she just did it. There was no Amazon and Instacart and all the things that we have the luxury of having today. And I really am, she's one of my best friends, and I'm so fortunate to still have her here, with me. And, we talk every day on the phone or through FaceTime, and we get to see each other. But that was the first layer for me that I can say really defined someone that I really look up to, really from the beginning. And then the second layer is my own mom, who was amazing in her own right. She did work a full-time job, but she was the overwhelmed mom. It's like you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you get to see both takes on as the boy's walking you through the journey of the book, that he sees both sides of the coin. And that was similar in my own life. My mom was burnout, stressed, always late, showing up late to things and run down and, going from thing to thing. And I just sat back and especially even as a young child, and I would say, wow, I've seen both sides of this. I've seen how, my grandma having the 4 sons and running the family business and her being a teacher and all these hats, how she managed and really was able to step into her productivity and run her days. And then firsthand as my mom was doing that. So I knew that there was not just one way of doing that. And then as I grew up and, got married and had my own kids, it was very front of mind, at the forefront of my mind for me, to take what I learned and what I saw growing up and then turn that into something that I wanted it to be. So what I learned, the things that I didn't want to do and the things that I did want to bring in, and a little bit from both, right? But at the same time, it was really important for me to see both of those so I could really, truly tap into my full potential, which was living my life the way that I do, not only for myself, but now helping other women to do the same thing.
So you had your baby during quarantine.
I did.
Yeah.
I was 7 weeks old.
And so what advice would you give to new mothers if they're dealing with having a baby during these times?
Yeah, it's so different. I mean, my first child, he's going to be 3 on Monday. And, of course, had him under regular circumstances. There was no pandemic or masks and all this just craziness going on. And then to have the experience of having now my second baby in all of this craziness going on, I think the biggest thing for me was just taking one day at a time. I wrote this book in the midst of this pandemic, not even knowing, like when I started it, it was in January.
Well, so give us the name of your book.
Yeah, so the name of the book is called Slay Your Day. And the book, when I started writing it, we weren't really in the depths of COVID yet. It was just kind of surfacing at that point, at least here in the United States. So fast forward until today, and it's so relevant to what we're going through. And, for a mom that's going through this right now, I would just say to her, you need to be present in where you're at right now. Just like I was saying before, you can't worry about all the things going on. Am I going to get COVID? Is my baby going to get it? Where am I going? What am I doing? Because we can worry about all those things and stress ourselves out and be in high anxiety and all these things, right? We always worry about things that don't even happen to us, or, stress about what if. But at the end of the day, you do what you can do to take the protective measures that you need to take for yourself, the baby, your family. And you just take one day at a time, and you be healthy, and you eat healthy, and you nourish yourself and the baby, and you can stay active if that's something that, you're used to doing. And really just, again, don't get into the mindset of, well, what if this could happen, or what if that could happen? Because yes, planning is the key, but you don't want to stress yourself out so much that you're giving yourself and the baby all this worry and anxiety.
So in your opinion, what's the most essential step that you need to take when aiming to have a highly productive day? Because sometimes you can aim to have it, but the day just goes on by itself, and you have no control over it, because there are certainly things that come up that you don't expect.
Absolutely.
So what's the most important step you think you have to take?
Yeah, so I would say two things here. The first step is you plan your day the night before. So for me, I have a planner, and I don't write a big long to-do list of things. I write down 3 things that are going to move the ball forward for me each day. And some of them can be family related, some of them can be business related. It doesn't matter. It changes every day. No one day for me is ever the same. But I focus on 3 things that are really going to move me forward for the next day. And the reason why I do it the day before is because if I do it, let's say I do it this morning for today, I'm already behind, right? I go to bed, I don't know what I'm doing the next day. My motivation levels aren't starting where they should be. So I really need to start the day off going in proactively versus reactively to my day. So that's the first thing that I would say. And then the second part of that is, especially as a mom, especially as a woman in business, especially all the things, right? We have to anticipate and expect that things aren't always going to go according to plan, right? I mean, I can tell you, like I said, for me, I have a newborn, and he's 7 weeks old, and I'm feeding in between calls, and I'm, it's again, no one day is ever the same, but there's another element to it now, because this is my new normal. There's, work, and then there's feedings, and then there's work, and then feedings, and then there's work and putting my other son down for a nap. You're just taking it day by day, and there's things that come up. So, we plan for the best and we hope for the best, right? But at the end of the day, when and if things come up, we know how to pivot, and we know how to really adjust based on what we need to focus on to get done for that day. And that's based around those 3 things that you set up for yourself ahead of time, which is the night before.
Well, I certainly agree with that, because I've taught time management for years and years and years. And one of the things I've always said is you have to plan your day the night before, because even if you go into an office, you're not working from home, you go into an office and somebody comes and says, do you have a minute? If you don't know what your day is, then you don't know if you have a minute or you don't have a minute.
Absolutely.
So, I firmly agree with that. And I also agree with the fact that you only put 3 things down. Some people have a to-do list that's 12 items, and you're never going to get to them. And people have the tendency to cross off the easiest ones and never do the most important ones. So I love the idea of the 3. Yeah. So when you say, you're a productivity coach, what's the one thing that you enjoy most about being a productivity coach?
Yeah, so the thing that gives me the most joy and happiness is, I started this business and coaching because I was having these results in my own life, and I was being able to, like I said, show up intentionally as a wife and a mother and a woman in business, and being able to give that gift to my clients, especially the women that are at home. And so many of us now are home because of the circumstances. So you're working from home, and your kids are learning from home, and you're just trying to do all the things at once. But for the woman who, is the entrepreneur, who's like, I want to build a business and raise babies, and I don't want to feel overwhelmed. When my clients get to have and experience that, it's amazing, because I've felt that, I feel that, and I get to experience it over and over and over again when they feel that and experience it. So it's this amazing feeling for me that I get to do this every day, and not only live it, but give that to someone else, because it has this beautiful ripple effect. When mom is happy, or when the woman in your life is happy, and I'm sure you can attest to this, everything is a lot happier, right? So the kids are happier, your husband's happier, your work goes better, but at the same time, there's this beautiful ripple effect that you're more productive at work and at home. And it really just, it affects more than the person that I'm coaching. It's everyone around her and in her environment.
Well, comparisons are always made between women who work and men who work. And, talking about the clients that you've worked with, what are the biggest challenges faced by women that aren't faced by men? Now, I will tell you, I mean, we certainly know from you. I mean, you birthed the baby, and even though your husband is there, I mean, he probably may not be working at a job at home right now, or he may be. But I will tell you this: I think that the younger guys today are taking much more home responsibility than before. On the other hand, I was so fortunate. My husband, believe it or not, got custody of his children back in 1960. So you can imagine that was like a what? And he managed to bring those kids up. And I mean, we dated. I mean, when I started dating him, they were 2 and 3. When we got married, they were 5 and 6. But still, he had a lot of responsibility, getting the kids dressed, getting them to, nursery school. I was fortunate because he's the one that taught me how to diaper for a baby, how to feed a baby, all of those kinds of things. But where do you see the differences? What are the things that you see as the biggest challenges faced by women, but not necessarily men?
Yeah. So I think with that, women, we can never turn it off. I know for me, it's not just what do we have to do and what needs to get done. It's also there's that, okay, well, husband gets to know that the kids are going to this school, but the mom's doing all the vetting. She's the one that's going through. And, I know, again, before all of this COVID started, and I was going to put my son in camp and school and all of this, I'm the one that's going and vetting all the schools and meeting teachers and checking in with things. Well, is this the right thing? Does it feel right? Is it, that never turns off. That feeling like you can shut the computer down and turn off the work. Even if you're thinking about it, it's still there. But I think for men, it's a little bit easier. And I'm speaking from experience just for my husband. When he works, he goes into work, he comes home, and then he's in daddy mode and hubby mode. But for mom, it's the emotional part of it too, where yes, we're working. Yes, we have the family. But I think that we are also emotionally connected to it a little bit deeper. Just being the fact that yes, kids are, going to school or doing their activities or even with their friends, right? Like, are they hanging out with the right friends? Are they wearing the right clothes? Did they dress warm enough? Did they dress cool enough? Like all the things that I don't think dads think about.
Well, that brings me to the point of what do you suggest as a productivity expert? You've got a mom, let's just say, working from home. She's got not one kid, but 2 kids or more who are being homeschooled. Mm-hmm. She's on alert from her job. It could be a job. Maybe she doesn't have her own business, but she's working as a job. But if she has her own business, what do you suggest to these people in terms of dealing with all of it? I mean, juggling it and not losing their mind in the process.
Right. Well, okay. So a couple of things there. One, you have to have your own little outlet. Whether I know for me, it's working out. If I do something 30 minutes a day to just kind of tap into me and what's going to fuel me. Again, I know for me, it's my workouts. Just having my own me time where I can, not be mommy and on call for work mode. And maybe for the woman that, isn't able to get that workout in or is trying to still figure out what that schedule looks like for her because, the schedules and the systems, that gives everyone security. That gives the kids security knowing in what's coming next. So mom can, gauge her day. And I would just say in the uncertainty of all of this, of this whole situation, we have to control the controllable. So what are the things that we can control? Am I getting up before my kids are getting up so I can get the workout in, so I can have the me time? Maybe just having a cup of coffee for yourself, before the day gets started with all the things that you have to get done. So again, going back to controlling the things that are important to you, that you need to tap into for all of this to work. And again, with having systems in place, maybe it's making sure that the kids are on a certain schedule or, having someone come in, maybe it's a family member where they can, be with one child and do the homeschooling. Maybe it's a mother-in-law or I know my mother-in-law lives close by, but my parents are out of state, so everyone's circumstances are different. But really being able to give yourself kind of a schedule to fall and to flow into. So what's coming, the kids know what's coming, everyone's on a program. And that consistency and that certainty of what's going on really allows you to just tap into making sure you don't get too overwhelmed in this process. Because let's face it, everyone's working at home, homeschooling at home. There's probably, nowhere to escape maybe other than the pantry, right? So just giving yourself that moment if you need it. End of the day, beginning of the day, maybe a little, 5 minutes in the middle of the day, but something that you can really fuel yourself up with and fill your own cup, because we can't give to others if we are drained emotionally, physically, or mentally.
Well, that's for sure. So tell us a little bit about your book and where they can get it and what's in it and why they should read it and those kinds of things.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So the book is called Slay Your Day, and it's all about how to get more done, become ultra productive, and unlock your full potential. And what I say when I speak about that is, when I work with my clients, and I talk about, my high-end clients, like my coaching clients where I'm working one-on-one, they get these massive results very quickly because it's easy for me to identify what they have going on, right? Let's say someone has a million things going on. This book will help that woman that has more going on than someone who just says, okay, well, my day, I kind of have it figured out and I know what's going on. Will that help that woman? Absolutely. But the more you have going on, the better this book will help you. And it's really just getting out of your own way and helping you to identify how you can tap into these high performance habits. And it can be just these little small tweaks, but I didn't want my coaching or my programs to be just for the women who can afford it, right? Because these are higher end programs. I wanted to give women everywhere the tools and the systems and the strategies and really the blueprint behind what I do in my coaching programs. It's not tailored, obviously, specifically for the woman, where it would be in a one-on-one situation, but it does give her the tools and a step up to say, okay, I'm going to get my hands on this book. I'm going to go through the book. And at the end of each chapter, I have a little workbook. So as you read through the book, you get to go through a little workbook at the end so you can apply, because we can have all the tools and resources in life, but if we don't apply it, what good is it? So what I do is I walk them through this little workbook, and then the intention is that they read through the book and then they can start applying it to their life and then start making those changes and tweaks so they can tap into that high productivity.
Fantastic. So where can they find the book and where can they find you? Because we've got about 4 minutes left. And
perfect. I love how you work. I love it. My kind of woman. Yes. So the book can be found on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Apple. There's a Kindle downloadable version. And there's also the physical book, like I said, on also Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, where they can purchase. And then also to find me, you can find me anywhere on social media at Sandi Glandt. So it's Sandi with an I, S-A-N-D-I, Glandt, Instagram, Facebook, or my website, which is sandraglandt.com.
Which is G-L-A-N-D-T.
G-L-A-N-D-T, correct.
Right. Okay. So they can get the book on your website, or they could go to Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or wherever and find the book, and the Kindle version as well, because some people like to get that. So where is Sandi going? We have a woman with two young kids, maybe more on the way, we never know. and this great business. So where is Sandi's future heading? Yeah,
so for right now, I am in mommy mode and work mode. And, for me, it's all about what makes me feel fulfilled. So between, the book and everything I have going on with that, for me right now, what feels right to me in this moment, especially with my newborn, is and again, each season, right? We have to acknowledge each season of our life. My season right now is I want to enjoy this newborn stage with my baby and my toddler, even being 3. I just know and I see how fast it goes. So definitely enjoying that. But then also I have a lot that I want to accomplish, professionally and personally. So this will be the first of many books to come. This is, I still have my one-on-one coaching clients and I have my programs. But hopefully when all of this COVID craziness ends, there'll be a lot of events that I can connect with my readers at and get to meet more of them in person. So that's the goal going forward. But again, that'll all be dependent upon what this new normal looks like for society going forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year before any of us are going anywhere.
I know. So it's all virtual right now.
Absolutely. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed Sandi's interview, and I hope you'll go and get her book, because I think, it's something you probably could really use right now, and something that would really make a difference in how you run your life and how you do your day. And that's what she's all about as a productivity expert. So this has been great, Sandi. And wow, 7 weeks old and we haven't heard a peep. I think that's fantastic. And a 3-year-old and we haven't heard that either, because people are getting used to kids interfering, dogs and cats interfering. So that's all. Yeah, it's all part of it. Well, thanks so much for being with us, Sandi. We really enjoyed it. And hopefully, I don't know. Do you have a free gift for anybody? Is there anything that you'd like to offer our listeners?
Yeah, we'll do a book giveaway, and we can chat on if, the entry. You can let me know how you want to run that. I'll let you decide how they can enter to win.
Or they can go to your website. And you can put anything on it you'd like.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is if they follow me on Instagram, and tag that they listen to both you and I for this, for this episode, then I'll do a giveaway. How about I pick 3 winners, but they have to tag us in this episode, both you and myself, and I'll pick 3 winners to do a book giveaway.
Fantastic. That sounds great. Well, folks, that's Sandi with an I and Glandt, Glandt. And check her out. Thank you
so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hi, this is Dr. Gayle, and I wanted you to know I have a whole bunch of other things to offer you. If you go to spunkyoldbroad.com, you will see an array of SOB stuff for sale and all our latest products and additions. If you're interested in getting on TV, I have a brand new course, Get on TV. And if you want to start your own business, you'll want my SOB Guide to Business Success. I know you'll love them all. I guarantee it.
Thanks for listening to Women in Business. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you have any suggestions as to who you'd like me to have as a guest, just email me at gaylecarson13@gmail.com. Be sure to check out www.sob6tips.com. And in the meantime, go to www.spunkyoldbroad.com to see the resources I have for you.